All right, today we're going to step into a quieter, maybe more profound space. We're going to talk about how we remember the past, especially a past that's filled with pain. And to do that, we're going to draw from this really thoughtful meditation with the novelist Han Kang and bring in a chorus of other amazing thinkers to explore this powerful, tangled connection between art, trauma, and love.
So let's start with this thought from Han Kang. It just gets right to the core of things, doesn't it? This idea of the fragile, really intimate connection we have with those who are gone. She's suggesting that what separates us isn't some huge, impossible chasm. It's something as simple and as absolutely vital as a breath.
And this right here leads us to the big question for today. I mean, think about it. When we're faced with this huge collective suffering, where do we often turn? We turn to art, to books, to poems, to paintings. But what are we actually asking of it? What do we want it to do? Can a piece of art really, truly heal a wound that scars an entire people?
Well, this is where Han Kang comes in with a perspective that really pushes back on that whole idea. So the first step we're going to take here is to consider that, well, maybe we've been getting it wrong. Maybe we've misunderstood what art is supposed to do when it comes to pain. So the essential idea is this. Art isn't a bandage. It's not there to cover up the wound or make it all better. It's a witness. Its real job, its true power, isn't to fix anything or make the pain go away. Instead, it's about its ability to just stay, to kneel down right beside the suffering, to bear witness with compassion, and to simply say, I see this happened, and I am not going to look away. Okay, but that raises another really interesting question, doesn't it? If art's job is to witness horror, then where does beauty fit into all this? Is it somehow wrong to create something beautiful out of suffering? Or could beauty itself be a kind of rebellion, a necessary one?
The artist Ai Weiwei has this brilliant, kind of provocative take on it. He says beauty can be strategic. It's not just there to be pretty. He calls it an ambush. Think about that. It lures you in, it grabs your eye, and then bam. Once it has you, it forces you to look at the hard truth it's carrying. You can't escape because the beauty has already trapped you.
And then you have Toni Morrison, who takes this idea even deeper, with such a powerful example. The spirituals sung by enslaved people. The beauty in those songs, it wasn't just decoration. Not at all. It was pure function. It was a lifeline. It was a coded map. It was a way to communicate. It was a tool, an absolutely vital tool for survival. This was beauty as pure necessity.
And finally, the poet Ocean Vuong just brings it all together with this absolutely stunning image. He helps us see that beauty and horror, they're not opposites. Not even close. Instead, beauty is this resilient, organic thing that grows right out of devastation. It's like life itself, just stubbornly pushing its way up through the cracks in the concrete.
So, okay, let's pause for a second. Art remembers, and beauty can be a powerful form of resistance. But if we're really talking about trauma, we have to ask a different question. Where does this memory actually live? Is it just in stories and paintings, or does it go somewhere much, much deeper? And that question brings us to our next big idea, the body itself, the body as an archive of memory. So now we're shifting. We're moving away from language and art and getting right into our own physiology, into the way memory gets stored in our cells and how it speaks through what we can't say. So if we draw on the work of experts like psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk, we start to see trauma as something different. It's not just a bad memory you have in your head. It's a physical state. It's your nervous system literally getting trapped in the past. It's a fight or flight response that got triggered but never got to finish. So long after the event is over, the body, it's still braced for impact. So think about the two ways truth can speak without using words. On the one hand, you've got the body's protest. It's involuntary. It's the tremor, the ache, that unfinished business. But on the other hand, you have the language of silence. And as Han Kang sees it, this isn't an empty silence. It can be incredibly precise. It can be compassionate. It can even be its own form of rebellion.
And this just completely flips our whole idea of silence on its head, doesn't it? For Han Kang, silence isn't a void. It's not an absence of something. It's a living thing, a pulse. It's that fertile, quiet place where real meaning, where real language can finally begin to grow again, especially after violence has shattered all the words.
All right, so we've gone from the memory in the body to the language in silence. Now let's shift again to the heart. If trauma can live on in our bodies, what about love? How does love persist when the people we care about aren't physically with us anymore? The poet Rilke has this really profound way of looking at it. He says that love isn't about possession, it's not about holding on to someone, it's about transformation. It's about how you let that person fundamentally change you. And that change, the way they reshaped who you are, that's permanent. That part survives, even when the body doesn't.
And Han Kang has this beautiful, really active way of thinking about it. She says the dead don't just live on in our memories, like old photographs. They continue to exist wherever love is still being practiced. They live in the act of love. So every time you do something kind they taught you, they are there. They live in the verb, not the noun.
Okay, so let's try to bring all these threads together. We've got art that remembers, not heals. We've got a body that holds on to trauma. And we have a love that persists through action. So what's the point of weaving all this together? It seems the point is to keep a kind of vigil, a vigil for compassion.
The writer and Holocaust survivor Primo Levi makes such a crucial point here. He says that bearing witness, it doesn't redeem the past. You can't change what happened. What it does is redeem the present moment from ignorance. By refusing to forget, we're actually saving ourselves right now from the failure of just looking away. And here it is. Here's the final essential ingredient. It comes from Desmond Tutu and his work on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He taught that just knowing the truth, just stating the facts, that alone isn't healing. Truth with compassion is healing. And that compassion has to be for everyone involved. Which brings our whole exploration right back around, full circle, to Han Kang. The art of remembering. It's not just a history lesson, it's a spiritual practice. It's about looking squarely at the past, at the absolute worst of it, and actively, consciously choosing to keep that little flame of compassion alive right there in the middle of it.
So, in the end, after all of this meditation on trauma and art and love, it all comes down to this one simple, powerful statement. It's a statement that stands against death, against being forgotten. It's an act of faith. We do not part.